She was there, sitting in the corner of the room, with a distant look that few noticed. The party continued around her, laughter and conversations filling the space, but something in her expression spoke louder. It was a signal, a silent plea that, for me, went unnoticed. I was so caught up in my own worries that I didn't realize she needed a hug. People often associate a lack of communication with unspoken words, but there's a deeper silence that screams. The kind of silence that carries the weight of suffocated emotions, of unfulfilled needs. She didn't need grand gestures or promises. A simple hug could have been all she needed in that moment, an act of affection that could have made all the difference. But I was distracted. The music was playing, the guests were having fun, and I was lost in a conversation that mattered little. The sparkle in her eyes faded slowly, and I didn't notice. I was unable to grasp the fragility of the situation. When I finally looked at her again, it was already too late. The moment had passed, and with it, the opportunity to offer comfort. Reflecting on this, I realized that this situation is an emotional iceberg. The visible part is the party, the laughter and the joy, while the submerged part is the loneliness and sadness that we often don't see. We all have our own internal struggles, and we frequently forget to look at others. What's happening beneath the surface can be devastating, and a simple gesture could have been the light at the end of the tunnel. That day, the lack of a hug was not just my failure, but a reminder of how often we become absorbed in our routines. Emotional needs are not always explicit. We need to learn to tune into others, to notice signals that go beyond words. Human connection is vital, and a hug can save someone from overwhelming loneliness. Now, I carry this experience with me. It's not a memory that brings me guilt, but rather an opportunity for growth. It's an invitation to be more present, to listen not just with our ears, but with our hearts. At the end of the day, we all seek a bit of human warmth, a bit of understanding. If I had noticed, perhaps she wouldn't have felt that void. Recognizing another's pain is a challenge, but it's a journey worth taking. It's a reminder that when we connect, we can also heal. The pain of others may not be visible, but it exists, and in a world so full of distractions, it's essential to stop and look around. What can you do today to be a light in someone's life? Her story is a lesson that remains. It's a call to action. Don't let silence become an abyss between you and those you love. Pay attention to what is left unsaid. Seek out what is hidden. Sometimes, a hug can be the answer someone is waiting for, and this is a truth I don't want to forget. The party continued, but I could no longer ignore the feeling that something was missing. The laughter of others seemed distant, as if I were in a separate bubble. In that moment, I realized that the disconnection wasn't just mine. It was a reflection of how many people were there, surrounded by friends and family, yet still feeling alone. She was there, but I didn't see her. Distraction is a common trap. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we often get lost in our own worries and forget to look to the side. For a moment, I thought about the times I felt invisible, even in the midst of a crowd. What does that signify, if not the need for connection, to be noticed and heard? In that instant, I became more aware of how powerful empathy can be. It's not just about hearing the words. It's about being present, body and soul. A hug isn't just a physical gesture. It's a bridge that connects two souls, a way of saying, I'm here and I care. Sometimes the signs are subtle, a distant gaze, a smile that doesn't reach the eyes, or even a silence that hangs heavy in the air. The challenge is to interpret these signs before they turn into cries for help. What holds us back from doing this? The fear of discomfort, the hustle of our lives. We need to allow ourselves a pause, a moment of observation, so we can truly see what's happening around us. When I finally approached her, there was no longer the same sparkle in her eyes. She was talking to someone, but her expression was one of disinterest. What happened to the joy that used to shine on her face? The sadness I hadn't noticed before now seemed so evident. Her life wasn't just a series of events. It was a narrative filled with emotions I hadn't read. I realized that empathy is not just about understanding another's pain. It's also about sharing the responsibility to care for one another. Each of us carries our own struggles, and by ignoring each other, we perpetuate a culture of loneliness. What could I have done? How about simply asking if she was okay? Sometimes the simplicity of a sincere question can open the door to deep conversations. When we are attentive to what's happening around us, We can provide support when it's most needed. A gesture of kindness or a friendly word can be the difference between despair and hope. In this way, we become agents of change in the lives of others. I believe that all of us can make a conscious effort to be more present, more aware. After the party, I decided that I didn't want to let those moments go unnoticed anymore. I started to question how I could cultivate a more welcoming environment in my daily interactions. Being emotionally available to others requires practice and commitment. After all, each of us has the capacity to be a light in someone else's life. Social media, for example, is an emotional battleground. While many feel connected, the reality is that the superficiality of online interactions often worsens feelings of loneliness. We need to remember that behind the screens, there are real people with real feelings. A simple "How are you?" can open up a dialogue that might lead to a much-needed release. Moreover, reflecting on our own vulnerabilities helps us to be more empathetic. By acknowledging our weaknesses, we become more able to see the weaknesses of others. This exchange of vulnerabilities creates a safe space for people to feel comfortable sharing their challenges. A hug might not solve everything, but it's a start. It communicates acceptance and understanding without the need for words. It might be the answer that someone has been waiting for in a moment of desperation, and even though it may not have the power to heal all wounds, it's a step towards healing. From that party on, I began to adopt small practices in my daily life. When I meet friends or colleagues, I make it a point to ask how they really are. And when I sense that something is off, I make an effort to listen. This practice has not only strengthened my relationships, but has also made me realize that we all have a story to tell, full of ups and downs. Ultimately, life is about connections. If we don't take care of each other, loneliness can become an unbearable burden. It is our responsibility to pay attention not only to the words, but also to the silences that speak. Each of us has the power to make a difference, and it starts with the willingness to be present. And so I continue to reflect on the lesson that night taught me. Recognizing the pain of others, offering a hug, a word of support, is an act of love that we can all practice. I no longer want to let silence become an abyss between me and those I love. In a world so filled with distractions, may I always choose to look around and be the light in someone's life. From that moment on, I realized that human connection is not just a necessity, it is an essence of life. Every interaction has the potential to impact someone in a meaningful way, and I was determined not to let that go unnoticed. The little things, like a sincere gesture or a genuine question, can carry immense emotional weight. We all face battles that often remain hidden. Understanding this led me to reflect on what it truly means to be present. It is not just about being physically beside someone, but about engaging emotionally. Sometimes an attentive glance can say more than 1,000 words. When you are truly present, you can catch the subtleties that we often overlook: the tone of voice, body language, facial expressions. These cues are essential for understanding what is happening inside another person. In a society full of distractions, it is easy to get caught up in the routine. The hustle and bustle of everyday life often prevents us from pausing and reflecting on the feelings of others. With this new understanding, I sought ways to incorporate this awareness into my life. I began to pay attention not only to those closest to me, but also to strangers. A casual conversation with a colleague, a smile at a stranger on public transport, or a simple "How are you?" to a service attendant can open doors that were previously closed. This change in attitude not only helped me become more attentive, but it also began to create a more welcoming environment around me. I realized that when people feel seen and heard, they tend to open up more. The dialogue that emerges is generally enriching. Sharing experiences, joys, or sorrows can strengthen bonds of friendship and empathy. As I practiced this new approach, I started to recognize that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of courage. By sharing my own insecurities and challenges, I created a safe space for others to feel comfortable doing the same. This exchange not only brought me closer to others, but also helped me understand that all of us, in some way, are struggling to connect. The impact of these interactions extended to my social circle. Friends who once seemed distant began to open their hearts. Stories that were once silenced were now being shared. Conversations became deeper, and connections grew more meaningful. A simple coffee meetup transformed into a space for venting, where everyone could express their frustrations and achievements. It's curious to see how empathy can create a domino effect. When someone feels comfortable sharing their story, it can inspire others to do the same. An environment of trust is established, allowing people to feel supported and welcomed, and that support is vital in difficult times. Beyond empathy, I realize the importance of being an active listener. Often people aren't looking for solutions, they just want to be heard. Being willing to listen without intervening with advice or judgment is a skill that requires practice. By doing this, you validate the other person's feelings, showing that they matter. This validation can have a profound effect, helping to relieve the emotional weight that we often carry. This journey of self-discovery and connection is not without its challenges. In some situations, it can be difficult to notice when someone is struggling. Some people are experts at hiding their emotions, using smiles and friendly words as armor. In these cases, it's essential to develop a sharper intuition. It's important to stay attuned to subtle changes in behavior, a tone of voice that becomes quieter, or a gaze that doesn't shine as it once did. Additionally, it's important to recognize that not everyone will be ready to open their hearts. Some people may need more time or space, and that's okay. Respecting another person's timing is crucial. Sometimes the best action is simply being available and showing that you care, even if the conversation doesn't happen at that moment. The practice of gratitude has also become a cornerstone in my life. Acknowledging what we have and expressing appreciation for those around us can be a powerful driver of connections. A simple thank you can brighten someone's day and reinforce a positive bond. By embracing a mindset of gratitude, we attract more meaningful experiences and interactions. Over time, this new perspective began to shape not only my behavior, but also the way I see the world. Instead of focusing on my own concerns, I started looking around and asking myself how I could help. This shift in focus gave me a sense of purpose. The reality is that we all face moments of pain and loneliness. However, by reaching out to others, we can turn these experiences into something more meaningful. Human connection is one of the most beautiful gifts we can offer and receive. And by nurturing that connection, we not only help others but also find a deeper sense of purpose in our own lives. Life is a mosaic of shared experiences. Each interaction we have is a piece of that mosaic, and together we can create something truly beautiful. This is the essence of what it means to be human, the ability to feel, connect, and support one another on our journeys. In a world that often seems hurried and superficial, may we be the change we seek. Let us remember to look around, to listen with our hearts, and to extend a hand to those in need. In the end, we all want to be seen and heard. This is the truth I want to carry forward in my life, so that I never again let silence become an abyss between me and those I love. It was amidst this reflection that I realized change begins with me. It is not enough to simply recognize the need for connection and empathy. Action is required, and it must be consistent. So I decided that each day would be an opportunity to connect more deeply with those around me. This commitment is not just about me, but about all of us, as a community. I started practicing active listening. This means that when someone speaks to me, I truly listen. I'm not just waiting for my turn to talk, but I engage in the conversation, asking questions and showing genuine interest. This approach has transformed my daily interactions. Friends and colleagues have started to open up in ways I had never seen before. Conversations flowed more easily and deeply. Furthermore, I've noticed that many of us expect connections to happen naturally. However, that can be an unrealistic expectation. Sometimes it's necessary to take the initiative. I started inviting friends for lunches or coffee, creating spaces where we could share our experiences without the rush of everyday life. These moments became precious, as they allowed us to talk about our struggles and triumphs in a safe environment. Over time, I noticed that this practice not only strengthened our bonds, but also fostered a space of vulnerability. When someone opens up about their difficulties, it triggers a cascading effect. Others may feel comfortable sharing their own stories, creating a cycle of support and understanding. This network of empathy is powerful and essential for everyone's emotional health. I've also come to realize that the little things matter. A simple, "How are you?" can open the door to meaningful conversations. Sometimes, a smile or a gesture of kindness can be all someone needs to feel welcomed. I'm always on the lookout for these moments and try to make the most of them. This change in attitude has made me feel more connected not only to others, but also to myself. The practice of gratitude has become another powerful tool. I started jotting down daily things I'm grateful for. This simple practice made me realize how blessed I am, and more importantly, it helped me appreciate the people around me. By expressing my gratitude, I not only strengthen bonds, but also create a positive environment that encourages others to do the same. These interactions are not just superficial. They have the potential to deeply impact someone's life. When someone feels valued and recognized, it can change their perspective and improve their emotional well-being. I have become more aware of the impact that my words and actions have on others. This is a constant reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a welcoming environment. What has become clear to me is that connection is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. It's necessary to cultivate these relationships every day. Sometimes this means being present during difficult moments, offering support and understanding. Other times it's about celebrating others' victories, even if they are small. Every interaction matters and contributes to a sense of community. Through this journey, I have realized that struggles and challenges are universal. We all face moments of sadness, loneliness, and uncertainty. However, we can be a source of light in each other's lives. By reaching out, we not only help others find their way, but we also find ourselves in the process. This exchange of support is crucial for personal and collective growth. Reflecting on my own experience, I've noticed that it's easy to get lost in the distractions of everyday life. Often we are so focused on our own lives that we forget to look around us. The change I seek starts with the commitment to be more aware and present. This means making an active effort to pay attention to subtle signs that may indicate someone needs help. Life is made of interactions, and each one is an opportunity to make a difference. By being more mindful and attentive, we can help alleviate the suffering of others. This doesn't mean we have to solve every problem, but rather be there to listen and offer support. Sometimes the presence of someone can be an immense comfort. On this journey, I've learned that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. By sharing our own struggles, we create space for others to do the same. This exchange fosters an environment of trust and acceptance. We don't need to have all the answers, but we can be available to listen and support one another. The practice of empathy has become a central value in my life. I'm constantly asking myself how I can be more present and available for those around me. This involves a continued commitment to being attentive and engaged. By doing so, I not only help others, but I also feel more connected and fulfilled. The interactions we cultivate over time become the foundations of strong relationships. These bonds are essential for our emotional health and well-being. We cannot underestimate the power of a hug, a word of encouragement, or a gesture of kindness. Each of these acts has the potential to transform someone's life. Life is short, and time is precious. By choosing to be more present, we can make a difference in the lives of those around us. This is a journey worth taking, and I am determined to continue on this path. After all, we all seek connection, understanding, and support. And in a world so full of distractions, may we always choose to look around us and be the light in someone's life. Everyday life often immerses us in a routine that distorts our perception of human interactions. The distractions are many: work, social media, daily obligations. The challenge is to remember that behind every face we encounter, there lies a unique and complex story. The true value of human connections lies in our ability to see beyond the surface and engage in meaningful ways. When I decided to be more present, I realized that small changes can have a profound impact. For instance, instead of just quickly greeting someone, I started to pause and genuinely ask how the person was doing. This simple shift made many people feel valued. The response often goes beyond a simple, "I'm good." People want to share their experiences, and when they feel heard, it can be liberating. During a recent gathering, a friend began to vent about the pressure at work. He talked about the insecurity he felt regarding his performance and how that affected his personal life. By listening attentively, I realized he was seeking more than just a sympathetic ear. He wanted me to acknowledge his struggle, to understand the weight he was carrying. That conversation not only strengthened our friendship, but it also made me aware of how vital it is to create a safe space for others to express themselves. Active listening is a skill that everyone can develop. It means being fully present, eliminating distractions, and showing genuine interest. When you truly listen, You're not just hearing words, you're absorbing emotions and contexts. This helps build a stronger and more authentic connection. From then on, I started practicing this listening in all my interactions, no matter how brief they might seem. In work environments, the dynamics can be challenging. Often conversations are superficial and focused on tasks. However, I realized that even in those contexts, there's room for empathy. During meetings, I began encouraging the sharing of personal experiences, even if they were brief. This not only breaks the ice, but also creates an environment where people feel more comfortable opening up. A simple, "How was your weekend?" can lead to a more meaningful conversation that reveals concerns or joys that might not be expressed otherwise. Additionally, the practice of expressing gratitude has become a fundamental part of my daily life. Acknowledging the efforts of others, even in small actions, can make a huge difference. By expressing gratitude, I create a positive cycle that not only improves the environment around me, but also encourages others to adopt this attitude. A thank you can be the boost someone needs to continue doing what they do best. The importance of creating a welcoming environment extends beyond individual interactions. In groups, it's possible to cultivate a culture of support and understanding. When a group member feels comfortable sharing their difficulties, it can encourage others to do the same. This collective vulnerability strengthens relationships and builds a sense of community. One person's experience becomes everyone's experience. However, it's not always easy. There are moments when people are not ready to open up, and that should be respected. Patience is a virtue we need to cultivate. Sometimes the best thing we can do is simply be by someone's side, showing that we are available, even if there isn't an immediate conversation. Knowing that someone cares can be a balm for invisible wounds. Additionally, self-care is essential for us to be truly present for others. When we are overwhelmed, it is difficult to offer emotional support. Therefore, taking time to care for ourselves allows us to be more attentive and receptive. This doesn't mean being selfish. Rather, it means recognizing that to help others, we need to be in a healthy place, both mentally and emotionally. Technology also plays an important role in how we connect with each other. While social media can create an illusion of closeness, it often increases feelings of loneliness. Instead of only interacting online, I've tried to balance that with in-person meetings. A coffee date or a walk provides opportunities for deeper conversations that texting can't replicate. The warmth of a live conversation brings a dimension that digital communication simply can't reach. However, technology can be a powerful tool when used correctly. Online support groups and discussion forums allow people to share their experiences and seek help anonymously if needed. By using these platforms constructively, we can extend our support networks and offer empathy to those who need it most. As I delved deeper into this journey of connection, I realized that empathy also extends to community actions. Participating in volunteer activities or groups that promote social well-being not only helps those in need, but also enriches our own lives. By connecting with the community, we find a greater purpose and an increased sense of belonging. Furthermore, empathy can be a powerful transformative force. When we help someone who is struggling, we don't just offer support, we contribute to a cycle of kindness that can spread. With every gesture, we are shaping a world where people feel seen and valued. This is a responsibility we all share. Continuous reflection on how we relate to others is a vital step toward personal growth. By considering the impact we have on the lives of those around us, we begin to see that change starts with us. We can be the difference we wish to see in the world. Each of us has the potential to be a source of light in someone else's life. By doing so, we not only help others but also find a deeper meaning in our own lives. Human connection is a journey worth taking, and as we continue to practice empathy, we are contributing to a more welcoming and supportive world. Now, as I look to the future, I carry with me the lesson that it's never too late to connect. Every interaction is a new opportunity to make a difference, and in a world full of distractions, may we always choose to be the light in someone's life. The journey is just beginning, and I am determined to walk it with empathy and love. Contemporary life, with its relentless demands, often makes us forget the importance of human connections. The fast pace and constant distractions can cause us to lose sight of the emotional realities of the people around us. Recognizing that each of us carries our own battles is a fundamental step toward building deeper relationships. It's easy to get caught up in the daily routine, but it's essential to make a conscious effort to observe and understand what the people around us are experiencing. This requires a willingness to be present, not just physically, but emotionally. When you allow yourself to be truly involved in the lives of others, you start to notice the small details that may otherwise go unnoticed. One example of this is in how we approach everyday conversations. Instead of superficially asking, "How are you?" why not dig a little deeper? Questions like, "What has made you happy lately?" or "Was there anything that worried you this week?" can open the door to more meaningful conversations. These questions not only show that you care, but also encourage others to share their experiences. It is essential to create an environment where people feel comfortable sharing their insecurities and concerns. Sometimes, a simple gesture of attention can make all the difference. Being an active listener involves more than just hearing. It's about demonstrating that you are genuinely interested in the other person's response. This can be done through nods, facial expressions, and even follow-up questions that encourage the person to continue expressing themselves. Moreover, empathy should not only be seen as a response to moments of crisis, it should be an integral part of our daily interactions. If you notice that someone seems quieter or more distant, it may be the right time to ask if everything is okay. Often, people just need a little nudge to open up and share what's on their minds. The practice of active listening also extends to the workplace. Creating a space where colleagues feel comfortable discussing their emotions, goals, and challenges strengthens the team. This not only improves the work environment, but can also lead to greater productivity and job satisfaction. When people feel supported, they tend to invest more in what they do. Another important aspect is recognition. Often, we forget to appreciate the small contributions of our friends and colleagues. A simple thank you or a sincere compliment can have a profound impact. These small expressions of appreciation create a positive and encouraging atmosphere where everyone feels valued. As we become more aware of the importance of human connections, we should also reflect on how our actions can affect others. Every word we say, every gesture we make, has the potential to influence someone's day. Therefore, we need to strive to be careful with our words and actions. A casual comment can be interpreted in a way we never imagined, and it may cause someone pain without us realizing it. In addition to acknowledging others' emotions, we must be honest about our own. Sharing vulnerabilities is not a sign of weakness, but rather a demonstration of strength. By admitting our insecurities, we show others that it's acceptable not to be okay all the time. This helps build a sense of community where everyone feels comfortable being authentic. Vulnerability also allows others to connect with their own humanity. When we see that everyone faces challenges, it becomes easier to feel compassion and empathy. This mutual recognition of struggles unites us and creates stronger bonds. Instead of isolating ourselves in our experiences, we can support each other. On a broader level, it's important to remember that communities also benefit from this kind of connection. By promoting a sense of belonging, we can work together to tackle common challenges. This may include community initiatives that encourage mutual support, such as discussion groups, social events, or volunteer programs. Technology, when used effectively, can be a powerful tool for fostering these connections. Digital platforms can facilitate communication and allow people to share their stories. However, it's crucial to remember that personal interactions are still irreplaceable. Human contact is essential for creating meaningful bonds. Participating in community groups, for instance, not only helps to strengthen ties, but also offers a support network during challenging times. If you feel comfortable, you might even share your own experiences and challenges. This can encourage others to do the same, creating an atmosphere of understanding and solidarity. Thus, the journey of cultivating human connections is ongoing. It's a commitment that requires effort and dedication. Each of us can be a change agent, promoting an environment where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. Empathy and compassion should be daily practices, not just reactions to crises. In the end, life is a series of interactions. Each interaction has the power to impact not only someone else's life, but also our own. By connecting authentically, we can transform our individual experiences into something more meaningful. It's a collective effort that is worth it. Therefore, may we always remember the importance of caring for one another. Human connection is a fundamental necessity, and by valuing it, we are not only enriching our own lives, but also contributing to a more compassionate and empathetic world. That's the truth I want to carry with me, that each day is a new opportunity to make a difference in someone's life. The experience of being present for others is not just about grand gestures. It's in the small interactions of daily life that we can make a real difference. A smile, a warm greeting, or a sincere question can open doors that lead to deeper conversations. These interactions can be the beginning of meaningful and lasting relationships. Sometimes the people who need support the most are in our closest circle. It might be a friend going through a tough time, or a colleague who seems overwhelmed. By paying attention to these signs, we have the opportunity to offer a safe space where they feel comfortable sharing their concerns. This willingness to listen can be a foundation for a stronger relationship. In work environments, creating a culture of support is essential. This can be achieved through meetings where team members are encouraged to express their ideas and feelings. When everyone feels safe to open up, collaboration becomes more effective. Teams that value open communication tend to perform better and maintain a more positive atmosphere. In personal life, cultivating friendships also requires effort. We shouldn't wait for others to make the first move. Sometimes, we need to be proactive in inviting friends out or simply checking in on how they are doing. This initiative can strengthen bonds and create a network of mutual support. By taking time to be with the people we care about, we show that we value connection. Vulnerability also plays an important role in this process. By sharing our own struggles and challenges, we encourage others to do the same. This creates an environment where people feel more at ease to open up. We don't need to have all the answers. Just being present and willing to listen is already a big step. Additionally, the practice of gratitude can be a powerful tool. By expressing appreciation for those around us, we are strengthening bonds and creating a positive environment. A simple thank you can brighten someone's day. Recognizing the efforts of others not only helps to strengthen relationships, but also creates a cycle of kindness. When we focus on being more grateful, we begin to notice the impact that small actions can have. By regularly expressing gratitude, we create an environment where everyone feels valued and recognized. This not only improves the atmosphere around us, but also helps us cultivate a more positive mindset. Change doesn't happen overnight. It requires ongoing effort. We need to be intentional in our interactions and willing to make adjustments when necessary. This means being open to hearing feedback and learning from our experiences. Sometimes we might not realize how our words or actions affect others until someone speaks up. Empathy shouldn't be an abstract concept. It should be a daily practice. By striving to understand the feelings and experiences of others, we can build more authentic relationships. This involves a genuine commitment to being present and attentive to the needs of others. Technology, when used mindfully, can help facilitate these connections. Social media can be a tool for keeping in touch with friends and family, but personal contact remains irreplaceable. Using social media to connect is valid, but we shouldn't forget the importance of meeting in person whenever possible. Engaging in social and community activities is a great way to cultivate connections. Volunteer groups, clubs, or local events provide opportunities to meet new people and share experiences. This not only brings us closer to others, but also helps us gain a broader perspective on the realities that others face. Ultimately, what matters is the willingness to be present and to be a source of support. Each of us has the potential to be a light in someone else's life. As we strive to be more attentive and empathetic, we contribute to a more welcoming and caring world. Human connection is a fundamental need, and by valuing it, we are enriching our own lives. This is the truth I want to carry with me. Each day is a new opportunity to make a difference in someone's life. Therefore, let us always remember that small actions can have a big impact. Before you leave, do two things right now. Take a deep breath and hold on to what touched your heart today. And if it makes sense, share this story with someone who also needs to hear it.